Hey, welcome to Two Dads and Six Daughters. This is our show where we're two dads who have three daughters each.
That's right.
18, 14, and 30 this month. My oldest will be 30 this month.
Damn! Oh, damn.
Man, she'll be 30 this month, man.
Okay, so I remember when she was 12.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I got 13, 11, and 9.
Yeah. See, he's got babies, man.
Oh, man.
So,
I held my 9-year-old's hand today after basketball practice, and I was like, oh, that little third grade hand. Oh.
Did she want to hold your hand?
Yeah, Spencer, yes. She loves getting loved on.
Yeah, but even, in public, and like the older she gets, the school thing and all that, her classmates and Dad,
Yeah, they don't mind. They don't mind usually. Sydney, my oldest, she's kind of Sydney as a baby. Sydney wasn't necessarily down with all that.
Yeah.
So when she wants to be loved on, something's wrong. She doesn't feel well, or something like that.
Yeah.
And Skylar usually used to be the one I could love on all the time too, but she is getting a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
they're all great.
See, my youngest Maria, she's very loving, so she likes to hug. She's a hugger.
She's a guy.
Olivia, she couldn't wait to be able to walk on her own. She could just get away from people. She just doesn't like stuff like that. And
it's like her father.
And my 30-year-old, soon to be 30-year-old, I don't know, because it'd be kind of creepy if I tried anything. So.
You're a dad, man. That was not a problem.
Nah, it's not a problem. It's not. No, when I'm with her, I'm always like kissing her on her forehead and hugging her and stuff like that, because I don't get to see her that often, so I get to do that. But man, it just goes by so fast, man. You blink and bam.
I now get it, man.
So how do you deal with a child who continues to go against what you've told them? And I give an example, like my youngest one, and it didn't happen this way, but what if it had? Like, we had a conversation about her joining social media, and we let her have an Instagram. But then I kind of get some kind of message that she's to check out her profile on Twitter. And we didn't say she could have Twitter. Right? And she did have a Twitter account, but she got it before we had that conversation. But she hasn't been on it since we've had the conversation. But what would you do if your child just kept going back to the well? You told her not to go to that well, and he or she, in our case, she would go back to the well. Well, how do you handle that? Because I'm like, you take away her phone. You did that once, give it back to her. Second time, what do you do?
I'd say, well, if she did, I would take the phone away.
Again?
The phone was important.
Again?
It would just be like, you can't have a phone for the rest of the year.
Okay, it'd be for a longer period of time.
Take away her social media connection. And hopefully that would be, and stick by it. And then that's what I probably would do.
Yeah.
Which I think the phone, that's the dynamic that our parents never had to deal with. That's new. The phone is the gateway to the whole universe.
Right.
So remember back in the day, you can't don't have anybody call my house after 7 o'clock. Now the kids got a phone. They can talk to people in China. It's a whole
different thing.
So the trust issue is very important. I think you really just have to keep on having that relationship with your kids and keep on, because there's some things that we just have to trust them on.
Yeah.
And be like, I can't really find out, but I hope that you won't disrespect me. Of course you can do the shame and guilt thing. That trick works sometimes. Well,
I told I used to tell Olivia, and of course she's away at college now. I tell Maria, I said, when you're on a computer here at the house, I said, from my job, I can see what you're doing. And which I can. But I
because you are a computer genius.
Well, I'm not. no, I wouldn't go that far. But I haven't looked in a while. I mean, when we first gave Olivia Facebook, my second daughter, it came with a lot of parameters, and the username was actually my name. I mean, how they use the email thing. It was my email, and it's still
about taking the power out of something. My dad is Facebook,
and it still is. I told her I told her when she was still in high school, change it if you want to change it, because she always said, "When's the last time you watched my Facebook activity?" And I said, "I don't remember," because I had stopped looking a long time ago. So, you know. But yeah, it's just when a child keeps doing, it's like when my grandson was 5 and he was here, and I would tell him, don't do this and that, and he would do it. And I said, next time this happens, I said, me and you, man. And he did it. He did it. He did it again, right? And I'm thinking, hell, I don't even know how to hold a belt, man. You know, I don't know how to do any of that stuff, but I had to figure it out. I had to show him who's boss, you know, because there are rules, there are consequences to your actions, things like that. And, you know, it's like one of those things.
He was 5, so he was 5 years old.
Yeah, but you still got to learn. You still.
Did you get the belt, man?
I did
Grandpa brought the belt out?
I did bring the belt out, man.
That's old school for real.
And I swung it like walking out of my bedroom to get, you know, loosen up the arm. Loosen up the arm. And I swung and the belt flew out of my hand, man. I mean, because I've never spanked a child. Ever. Have you ever spanked your girls?
Yeah. Yes. Chiming in, yes. You know, early on, I think, you know, now I don't even remember the instances, but yes, I did spank. I think each of them have felt the lash. I think one of the tragic whipping or in trouble was Skylar, Sydney said Skylar bit her. She was like 3 years old or something. And I was like, did you bite your sister? She's like, yes. And I think I spanked her on purpose.
Yeah.
And then she didn't know what that meant. After she got in trouble and I spanked her,
yeah,
she didn't know what it meant. So it was like, she still reminds me to this day, I didn't know what that meant. I was like, oh, Lord.
What was that for? I don't know what that was for.
Yeah. What did happen? And then I told you, I shared this story before, when I beat Spencer at the mall when she was like 3. And I was like, Mark. And I looked like I was 300 pounds beating this little 3-year-old at the mall. I saw myself in the reflection of the glass, and I was like, and right before I did it, Allison tried to stop me. I was like, I don't care. I was like, I saw myself, I was like, oh, that's not a good look.
Man.
3.
Yeah. See, I've never spanked. My father never hit me.
What? Well, see, we should have hit you.
You know,
right chest.
He never, yeah, right to the throat. He never hit me, and my mom couldn't hit us when he was home because he didn't allow that. You know, at least not when he's home. So he never hit. He used to make a stand in the corner though, like half the night. You know,
that doesn't match the stereotypical Hispanic machismo thing.
Well, you know,
stand in the corner.
You know, but my father. My father had such a horrible childhood, you know, and so I think he brought a lot of that. And he saw what kind of man he did not want to be, based on seeing his father. So I think that he was going to be the opposite of everything his father stood for, because his father stood for nothing, you know.
Oh, man.
So you know, but I don't know. And so I got that. So when Latrell was here, if you still go into the family room, you can see, if you look down in the corner, you'll see 2 little sweat marks from his forehead that are still there.
You had him do He's now 21.
He's 21 now, and he's got a pointed forehead now. So, you know, comes in handy at certain times, you know, when you're trying to fit him in a room, and there's not a lot of room, but that little angle, he fits right in there like a puzzle.
He's like 12 now?
He is 11. He's 11. Yeah, so I was reading where George Foreman V was arrested over the weekend. Police say he attacked his wife. He choked Ashley McVeigh Figueroa during an altercation on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. The document said that George attacked Ashley by, quote, impeding the normal breathing and circulation of the blood by applying pressure to her throat and her neck.
See, this is where George naming all his boys George will backfire.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, hey, George, I heard you beat your wife. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
That was George.
That was
not George.
What is it? Yeah, that's right. It was George V. Yeah, not George or George.
Everybody's named George.
Man, you know George.
His brother losing his job. People looking at him at church. I'm George number 9. It was my brother. You know, yeah. Like he was confusing.
You know, so I mean, how you got George A, George B, George C, George D. I mean, you know, that's I don't know, man.
You know, I think that's the one thing that is kind of tragic about, like, you know, like being a parent.
Yeah.
You know, obviously George Foreman raised his kids. He was a minister, basically. and obviously raised him as Christian, good Christians.
Yeah.
But that does not stop one from going astray. Huh?
All
those things that we want our kids to do and whatever, they have to live their own experience. So.
Yeah, but if you're George Foreman, our George Foreman, and your adult son beats his wife or chokes his wife, what do you do?
I would definitely.
He's your adult child. Do you bail him out?
Bail him out? No.
Do you hire him? Do you hire him?
Bailing out.
No bailing out?
No. If he'll be in jail and he would sit there and think about it.
Yeah.
And I might kick his ass.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous.
George still got that hook, man. So.
Right. And you are a reflection. You're a reflection of me.
Yeah.
But more importantly, what you stand for your family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that is one thing I will say, man. I don't play that. And I would not. I'd be the worst father for that because I would kick his ass.
Yeah.
Because I don't have friends who I know that beat their girlfriend or wives. I don't endorse it. Mm-hmm. And if you are my friend and do, I would probably kick their ass too.
But you know what, man? We live in this world, and I'm with you on that. We live in this world now where we say, because you and I are old school. We just are but now people say, well, what did she do?
Right. That is sad.
That is so sad.
Yeah, but that's just the difference in values. If you're taught to respect a woman a certain way, then that's not the conversation. Mm-hmm. And if you're not, then that's the conversation.
But there has to be exceptions, though, man, because obviously George Foreman V was taught how to respect women.
Well, now, like you said, maybe his dad. See, that's
no, but I can't make that leap, though, man.
What I'm saying is, this is what I'll say.
All right.
Sometimes the old school method, especially coming from the church, is that kind of craziness where you have some of that craziness where the man of the house thing and basically is the boss over women and rules with an iron fist. And you know what I mean? That's kind of sadly a part of the old school thing too. And I hope that's not the case. That's
where we are. We're like, well, what did she do? And it's like, are you serious? Are you serious? So,
and people, like you said, people will argue you down, and even women argue you down, and because it's a change of it's a different philosophy. Like some people will say, look, if a woman, I don't care who it is, if they disrespect me, if they hit me, I'm going to hit them. That's the difference in how we look at it.
But see, that I think the difference there too, and obviously there are exceptions, you being one exception, that comes from being from a loving man, an example of what a man's supposed to be in the house. Now, obviously, you grew up without your father, but you are the exception to the rule because you have nothing but respect for women, and you probably got that because not only were you raised by your mom, but you were raised around a lot of women, her sisters.
Yeah. And they had husbands, and I had uncles.
Yeah.
And I what I witnessed with my great uncle and aunt in their 80s, I saw how men treat women, and I saw how women treat men. But at the end of the day, and I didn't have a lot of craziness either. I think some people are raised with such craziness that disrespect
is the norm.
Is the norm.
Yeah.
And I always used to say this example. I was driving in Baltimore. I saw this grandmother with her grandson. He was probably 4. And she was walking, and you know how kids lag behind. And she grabbed him by the arm and slapped him across the face and said, "Hurry up." And I was thinking, okay, now, does his grandmother love him? Yes. Is that how she shows her love or discipline? Yes. So would you think there's anything wrong with that? No. But there is something wrong with that.
Yeah. Well,
and so it's like that kid, how could you tell him this when someone slaps you across the face that ain't right? He said, my grandma slapped me across the face. Right. What did you do? I was walking slow. Mm-hmm. And there you go.
There you go. Yeah, you're right. You're right. There were rumors going around that Cassie was engaged to Diddy because Puffy gave her a ring, supposedly. But she did post on Instagram that she needed more because if he did give her a ring, it wasn't an engagement ring. It was like, here's your 5-year ring, being with the company or something. So it got me to wondering, man, like if if your wife, before you were married, if Allison would have given you an ultimatum or kept telling you, I need more. I mean, you have to be pretty confident when you give someone an ultimatum that it's going to go your way. Because that can be a tomato you leave out there to get crushed by a truck at any time. You know, you have to be fairly confident. You can't say, look, either we get married or I'm out. You got to be fairly certain that he's going to say, let's get married.
Or in her case, looking at his history,
yeah,
you're just grasping for straws. I mean, obviously Kim Porter, he has 18 kids with.
Yeah.
He never married her. So what makes you think he's going to marry you? So maybe you just, hey, you're in this relationship with this kind of guy anyway.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that it could turn into that same, you could be Kim Porter number 2.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of say, hey, look, I need more. And you go to the public with like a little support, almost like the last cry for help, because it's not probably going that way. And you're just trying to, play that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not like he's already probably going to bail. And you probably already understand that.
And don't have a baby with him because that ain't going to keep him with you. Ass old girl and the old girl before her.
Right. The whole, and the thing that, again, I think also back to our old school ways, Puffy and parenting and all this kind of stuff, I think we view that as just some BS. It's kind of like, like this whole.
You don't think he's a good father?
Well, I mean, I think I think I look at the women in his life and I look at the kids, and I just think it's so selfish when I see guys do that. But it's their life. It's not really for me to judge, and so I am judging, so that's not right. But you know what I mean? I just think it's kind of
so he's been active in their lives, he's been supportive in their lives, but the example he has set is what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I just think, again, that's the old school in me, and I'm judging, and it's not fair to judge, but I just kind of go, if I'm his child, and someone says it's all about your daddy, and on Justin's 16th birthday when he got a Maybach, he had to be in the video giving his son the Maybach.
It's the brand, baby. It's the brand.
Dad, you could have given me the keys to the car.
Yeah.
And left it at the crib.
Yeah. Well, that's ego, though.
But you wanted to film it, and you wanted to be in the shot. And I just think that it's all about you.
Yeah.
So if I think it's all about him, the kids think it's.
Well, yeah, but it reminds me back in the 70s or 80s when Reggie Jackson was covering the World Series for ABC when they were doing the World Series. And I forgot who the MVP was, but he was telling them, you're the MVP and you just want a new like Chevrolet or something. It was a car like that. And he says, and since I'm a Chevrolet dealer, I guess it's partly from me too. I was like, really? Really? Really?
But that is the industry. The industry's selfish,
Yeah, but that was even back then. So, all right. So this next story is your children still in the room, man?
No, they're out.
Okay, good. A man sued his ex-girlfriend when he found out that she had secretly used his sperm to conceive a child. You're saying, well, how did that happen? Well, the judge ruled that the woman's actions could not be viewed as criminal because the man had given his sperm to her on a voluntary basis. Now, we're not talking about two average people. We're talking about two doctors. Dr. Richard Phillips sued Dr. Sharon Irons several years ago. Dr. Phillips said that his former girlfriend, Dr. Irons, she deceived him by stealing his own semen that she obtained through oral sex. The woman subsequently used his sperm to get pregnant without him knowing, and then they split up, and he didn't know about the baby. He found out about the baby after Dr. Irons filed a paternity suit seeking a monthly allowance, and the judge said, you got to pay $800 a month in child support. But he says it was a calculated, profound personal betrayal, and I need compensation for the moral damage she's done to me. She says, I'm not guilty of nothing. I didn't do anything wrong. And the woman says that his anguish could not be considered a reason for the lawsuit, and the court agreed. But he didn't take that line down. He appealed, and the Illinois Appeals Court says the rightfulness of the deceived man is in fact true. The court ruled that Dr. Irons, the woman, had a sexual affair with Richard Phillips to obtain his semen. Oral sex eventually resulted in pregnancy, which is obviously impossible, and testified to premeditated fraudulent intentions of the woman. The judge said, though, it was not correct to accuse Irons of sperm theft. Ejaculation was a gift of the plaintiff. There was no agreement that the original deposit would be returned upon request according to the decision, and he has to pay child support. Here's why I have a problem with this. Okay,
the court, the court ain't right on that.
You have to. Well, first of all, yeah, he's going to have to pay child support. That is his child. Okay, he's going to have to do that. But there should be. He should get some sort of damages because it was the intent of the sex, and this is where intent plays a part in my eyes. Was the intent of the sex to make a child, to conceive a child, or not? No. It was not. And
really not.
Ejaculation is part of the sexual process, so that was gonna happen. So to me, if the intent was not to conceive a child, then she acted, like the court said, fraudulently. She was wrong. She was wrong for that, you know. But
I just can't believe the court ruled in her favor.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like you said, the act that specific act, that's not a plausible way for someone to have a child, to get pregnant.
You know what? I hadn't even thought about it like that, but that's exactly right. That's not, you don't get pregnant like that. You get pregnant from intercourse, from penetration, from ejaculation, from ovulation, things like that. You don't get pregnant from oral sex, and then you would.
Fraudulent in her activity.
Yeah.
But the court, that's two courts that rule in her favor, though.
Yeah, that's great. Well, the second one says, you know what? She was wrong, but it ain't theft because it was a gift. It wasn't a gift. But what was the intent of the gift? Was the intent of the gift for her to get pregnant? No, it wasn't. Right. It was not.
And let me tell you something. All you gotta do is ask any wife, and they'll tell you that is no gift. No, really. In fact, it's a curse.
Yeah, man. Man. He should have known, man. He should have known. He should have known.
But Tony, how do you know? That's pretty.
You know, because you're done, and you're laying there next to each other, and you're talking, and she ain't saying nothing. She just said, She breaks out the Harpo Marx horn, man. You want something to drink?
Strange.
Why did she do that? He should have known, but man.
Why do you have that ice in your mouth? I should have known. Ice and a test tube? Damn.
What the hell is that?
I mean, she was a doctor. Man, I'm like, how long do you have? You know, like how long?
Oh, how long it lasts?
Yeah, how long is it active?
I don't know. Man. Somebody once told me when it hits the air, it's sterile, but that's not true. Well, that's not true, as we know now. Huh?
A couple of things have been said. Are not true.
But I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with that, man. But yeah, so he kind of got it in his favor the second time, but he didn't get anything out of it except child support. He got a baby.
He had a son.
He had a son.
Congratulations,
man. And you know he's got to take care of his son.
So how did you, so Dad? How did you and Mommy meet?
Well, my boy, ask your mama.
It's gonna be hard to swallow. Don't say that.
Oh man, I don't know. Hey, Mark has been on this juicing 100-day of Raw.
Yes, sir.
Raw 100.
Raw 100.
That's it, right there. So he's been like having raw fruits and vegetables and things like that. What else can you eat raw? You're not eating raw meat. So what else are you eating raw?
Well, yeah, raw. You know, raw fruits and vegetables, and you know, there are a lot of dishes. You know, from kale salad, different salads, and then you know the raw chefs have a lot of dishes that they do, man, that are very good. You know, like they may dehydrate the fruit or vegetable and then kind of combine it. And so, like one of my favorites that's pretty good is I take a seaweed and then wrap some cucumbers, hummus, tomatoes, you know, onions, and have that like as a wrap.
What is hummus?
Hummus is basically chickpeas. And there's the normal hummus is chickpeas. They actually cook chickpeas.
Okay.
But they also have raw hummus where they use dehydrated chickpeas.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But so this month I'm actually juicing.
Yeah, you are Jew, and you brought up because Mark has a program that he does. It's called On the Mark. You can check it out on Google. Actually, the best thing you could do is get the Mark Clark app for your smartphone. It's on all the platforms.
And then that's why I sell it.
And then you can follow him and watch these videos. You can find him where you need to find him. Is the easiest way rather than go through the website Google and try to get the app. And it's all kind of like the act as a hub for all he does on social media.
One side place also and the videos go to Tony's Talking 360. You get caught up on the scandal stuff, and the Two Dads, and also Tony's. I like your new technology.
Oh, do you?
Video.
Well, you know, I've always been a tech guy,
Yes,
and I just decided I wanted to do something because I watch a lot of tech videos, but none of them really address the person who just wants to know basics. They don't want to know about, you know, how much RAM you need, or they don't want to know about what kind of graphics card would be the best. They just want to know about certain things. What's a great app? The latest one I did had to do with 50 open source apps that can replace very expensive software. Like Photoshop is like a $600 program.
Yes.
But you can get GIMP for free, and it does just about everything Photoshop does. And I got I just check out the video. You go to Talking 360.
Are you using GIMP on those new graphics you're creating?
I'm not using GIMP. I'm using actually this thing called YouTube Slicer.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a pretty nifty program. It costs like $15 a month for like 3 months, and then it's paid off. So it's like $45. And
let's get some clarity on this story. For years I've been telling this story, and I might not be. I take credit.
Yes.
For getting you into computers.
Okay.
But is that my story is. We were talking about computers. Of course, I was broke and Tony was rich.
I was not
like,
rich.
Man, you should get the computer.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know about no computers. And then you then got the computer.
I did. Yeah.
Was that kind of the story?
Well, yeah.
You were thinking about it. I was my conversation.
Yeah. That's really what it was. I mean, I was thinking about it, but I wasn't thinking about it that seriously, right?
Okay.
But you knew how much I loved information. Right. I would go through the daily paper, the USA Today daily paper, the local paper, and everything like that, and the weeklies and stuff, scouring for stuff for our show. Mark and I used to do a radio show together, and so when I thought about a computer, what would I do with a computer, stuff like that, and the internet wasn't nearly what it is now. Right. And you kept saying you should get a computer, and so I did. The first computer I bought cost me $1,900. No printer. Right. And I had to pay extra to get a ROM put in it. It didn't record, it only played. Right? And then I went and bought a printer, and the printer cost $650.
So I spent about... I really could not afford it.
So, yeah.
After Tony became a computer master...
I'm not a computer master.
we had a contract negotiation. Me and Tony negotiated together. And
oh, we're out of time. Damn it.
We wrapped it up. Tony got his 6-figure deal and a computer as a bonus. And I got my...
He got your 40 grand.
I got my 30-something thousand. Like, all right, Mark, beat it. Okay. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
But you know what? When you left and went to work on the East Coast, you more than made up for that.
Yeah.
You did. You hit it out of the park. You hit it out of the... I was so proud of you, man. You hit it out of the park. So, you know, it was like, for a while, because before Mark, I had Kevin Woodson. And so Kevin Woodson left to go work for Tom Joyner, making way more money than I was making. Mark left and got a job making way more money than I was. So I was just running. I was like Hogan on Hogan's Hero. I was just running through the tunnel after freedom, man. Give me free, and I'll just send you out. And here I am.
You're still there.
I'm still here.
You're still there.
It'll be 26 years on the 20th of this month.
26
years. Yeah.
Any bigger and better things still to come.
Well, that's what they tell me, but you know. So, but anyway, get the Mark Clark app. It's only $79, and you can get it. No, actually, it's free. It's a free app, and Mark does this thing daily when he's been talking about his juicing and his 100 days raw. I watched the one yesterday, which the sports segment was great, and I want you and you need to post when you put up the shake thing, man. The spinach and pineapple shake. Put a recipe up there, man, so we can try it out, man, because I'm anxious to try that. So, I think we got disconnected, but anyway, I'm Tony Scott, and we've lost our connection, but we'll get him back. But thanks for watching Two Dads, Six Daughters. You can check this out on Talking360.com, and we'll see you next time.